Good morning and welcome. Happy Wednesday. It's your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom for our day. And we have a lovely card today. And when I first saw the picture, I kind of giggled. We'll see if you find it humorous as well. But let's give it a minute for everybody to jump on here and say hello and get a sense of who's present today. As always, we can start with some breath and some tapping. So pick your spot. I happen to like this one. Very centering, very grounding. And some breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. There's our first person. We'll see who's here. In through the nose. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome, welcome. Looking forward to chatting with you this morning. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice deep breaths beyond the depth that you usually breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And you can keep tapping and breathing for as long as feels good for you, because it really is a centering, grounding thing, especially if you're feeling intense emotions of any kind: anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, disconnection, all the things. Tapping and breathing can be so helpful. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the sunshine. So far, no sunshine today. We'll see what happens. The Canadian wildfires have really kind of mucked things up, but we'll see. Regardless, today I'm going for a hike with my friend Betsy. We are going to the Heckrot Wildlife Reserve, and we're going to see what we can see. So, looking forward to that. And I have a meeting tonight at the Menasha Library, so I have to figure out where the Menasha Library is. But a lot of things going on today. This morning is pretty jam-packed. Joe Neal and I are doing another Common Ground conversation, so you can look for that within the next week. So, lots of things going on. And this card actually is relevant to lots of things going on. So we have a card today from the Nature Portals deck, Bruce and Carol Malner, Inspiration Through the Peace and Beauty of Nature. And our card itself, let's see if you think it's funny like I did. Looks like a bad hair day to me. Poor little dude. Very hazy there, bad air quality. Yes, here as well. And I my sister said that she had read somewhere that Michigan was even worse off than Wisconsin is, but it's not good. So some days, if we're lucky, it's actually air quality that's bad for sensitive groups. But we've had quite a few days recently where it's air quality is bad for everybody. So I feel bad for the animals who are stuck out in this. So hopefully that will blow through at some point, and we'll see what happens. So, blow through. That's kind of the nature of this card. When the winds of change blow, stay centered in yourself. When the winds of change blow, stay centered in yourself. And that was part of the chapters I was reading last night in Bringers of the Dawn. The gist being that the greatest thing that we can do for the upheaval that's going on right now is center in ourselves, ground ourselves, clean in front of your own front door first, then give to others. Make sure that you're in a good spot. Make sure that you have at least a semi-full tank, because trying to create change from an empty tank isn't effective. Just isn't effective. So let's see what this has to tell us. Another nice deep breath. Let it go. When the winds of change blow, stay centered in yourself. The egret wouldn't be able to stand securely on the branch, and if you notice, it's just one spindly little leg hanging onto the branch there, unless it was centered. When the winds blow in a different direction, the egret accepts the change and makes an adjustment to remain balanced. Ah, thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. The egret reminds us that nature is in the process of constant change. I think everything's in the process of constant change and is always seeking new balance points. That's certainly what's happening now, isn't it? And sometimes the pendulum swings way far in a direction before it comes back to a more moderate position. What evidence of this do you see around you? How are the winds of change blowing in your life? What adjustments might you need to make to find physical, mental, or emotional balance? I'm going to add spiritual in there. I absolutely think what's happening right now is a spiritual upheaval as well. Good morning, Barb. Glad you're here. This is our little egret for today. When the winds of change blow, stay centered in yourself. One of the best ways to regain your center is to go for a walk in nature. And I will tell you that one of the reasons I think that walk in nature centers us is because we begin to attune to those surroundings. Our breathing changes, it gets more deep. We begin to pay attention to something other than a phone. It makes a huge difference. And so most of us overestimate how much time we actually spend in nature. So really think about it. Like, think about yesterday. How much time were you actually in nature? I watered my flowers last night. I walked downtown and there were some trees. Not much. That's about it. The trees are, the boulevard trees. They're not the big monstrous ones that really do a good job of cleansing our air and grounding us. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. So really be honest with yourself. How much time literally did you spend in nature yesterday? So today, I'm going to rectify that. I think, I'm not sure how long we'll walk because it's supposed to be 83 flippin' degrees, but we'll be out there in nature. We'll be out there in nature. Good morning, Nancy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So again, I'm going to show everybody our little egret here. The quote is from John Muir. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he or she seeks. So, and think about this. Think about the balance adjustments. It's kind of like doing yoga when you're on one foot. There's constant adjustments going on to keep you centered, right? So that's a framework for what we're doing in life right now. All the upheaval is leading to constant adjustments. Energy for best friend having serious cancer. Yes, absolutely. Okay, everybody rub your hands. Send some good energy. Send some good energy. And my friend as well. I have a friend who's having a hysterectomy tomorrow. Let's send her good energy as well. And she's having some significant back pain. So much so she had to call her son home from a couple hours away to help her. You live in the country and spend a lot of time in nature. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I think, this is just my opinion, there's going to be an exodus to the country in the next couple of years. That there's going to be less city dwelling. For some, because they can't afford to be there anymore. For others, because they get the idea that they need to be more in nature. Another rub. Get the energy moving. Send it out again. To all those who are struggling. To all those who have scary things coming up. Surgeries, court dates, whatever, right? Send an energy to our fellow humans, to the animals. I can't imagine they're not struggling with this crappy air quality. Just send an energy. When the winds of change blow, stay centered in yourself. So again, I used to think to myself, well, what good does it do if I'm working on me? But I think the ripple effects are tremendous, tremendous. And working on us is what we have the most capability of doing. It's also kind of what we most want to steer clear of because, who wants to deal with their crap, right? But such a good use of your time and your energy and your courage. I'm going to take a deep dive within. I'm going to figure out where I need to change and put my energy there. Once I've gotten my own oxygen mask on, I will assist others. That doesn't mean you can't be doing nice things for others in the interim. Let someone in traffic, open a door, whatever. But your priority is keeping yourself in a good place, keeping yourself aligned. Yes, absolutely. Yep, sending energy to Ruth Ann's friend. All of the people are struggling. And again, we know from Carolyn, who's been our amazing teacher on this, that for many of us, a walk with cancer can be illuminating, right? It removes all that no longer matters. You're not going to give a shit about most things because this takes priority. And this brings you back into your body. And it brings you to that crossroads of faith and trust. Am I going to proceed with faith and trust? Or am I totally rattled and really need to get myself grounded again? A challenge, a huge challenge. And many of us face challenges like that every day, whether it's cancer, whether it's a divorce, whether it's getting fired, whether it's, all the things that totally, a house fire, that totally flip our lives on end. Those winds of change blowing. How do we stabilize ourselves? How do we ground ourselves? How do we balance? So that's our consideration for today. That's our consideration. How balanced am I? How dependent on what's happening in my world is that balance? How can I bring that sense of balance more within? So I am grounded within. So at the center of life's storms, I can stand serene. Nice breath. Let it go. Again, lots of upheaval going on. I can't even say it. Going on in our world right now. And with people we know right now. And maybe within many of us. Grounding, balancing is our focus. Have an awesome Wednesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.